For the INFJ personality type, there are 4 things that I think that you need in a job in order to feel fulfilled. And look, I'm not going to tell you career paths specifically that you need to go down, because then I'd be telling everybody that they need to be, like a psychologist or a monk or a hypnotherapist. That's not what I'm all about. I'm going to say, what do you need to find even in your own job now? Maybe you hate your job, but these are 4 things that you can find in your job and you should be looking for in future jobs and future careers in order to find ultimate fulfillment for your personality type. So the first thing that an INFJ needs to be doing in a career in order to find fulfillment is they need to be communicating. They need to be in a position that requires some kind of transmission of information from them to others. INFJs are cut out to be excellent communicators, and really, it's what they're really going to want to do. They're going to want to tell everyone, hey, here's what I know. Here's the way things are, man. And that's because we have that pairing of introverted intuition and extroverted feeling. When you have introverted intuition, your whole life is around, how can I boil down to everything I see in life into like one pattern, one concept? How can I take everything at my job and figure out what's the one system, what's the one pattern at work here? How can we optimize that? And then with the extroverted feeling, that's basically, how can I make everyone feel good? If you want to boil it down to stupid people language, that's what it is. So that NIFE combo is all about, I got to tell everyone this thing that's going to make their lives better. All these patterns I figured out, I got to get it to them somehow. So communication, it's something that we just naturally want to do. Now, maybe you're a mumble mouth. Maybe you feel like, Frank, I'm not a public speaker. That's okay. I'm not saying that an INFJ is going to be naturally eloquent. You're not going to be able to stand up and say the Gettysburg Address off the top of your head. But what I'm saying is, you have the potential to be really great, and you have the desire. You feel the responsibility to do this. You feel the responsibility to communicate, and that's the important thing. And I know that any INFJ who puts their mind to it is going to be able to become a very good communicator. I say ironically as I trip over my words. That's kind of funny. You can do it. You can be a great communicator, and you'll find that once you start doing that in your job, you're going to feel a lot more fulfilled, because it's what you feel like, it's what you're supposed to be doing. Let's stop real quick and support this channel with a commercial break. Secondly, this is an interesting one. I think that for an INFJ to be fulfilled in their career, in their job, they need to have some degree of independence. They need to feel like they have some agency over what they're doing. This one's a little interesting though, because it isn't necessarily playing to their strengths. Because extroverted feeling is all about the group, the crowd. Hey, let's all get together on this. And really, honestly, I feel like an INFJ in total cruise control would rather be a follower rather than a leader. But they are just, they've got so much going on for them that when they get into that leadership role or an independent, let me do my own thing role, they really excel. Having your introverted intuition up top there, your dominant function, it really does kind of just want to do its own thing. INFJs can be very controlling, and that's because of the introverted intuition. It's a very controlling kind of function. Now, I'm sure all of you are saying, I'm not controlling, meow, meow, meow. But you are, I'm sorry to tell you. For an INFJ to be under someone and not a leader, it might be a bit easier for them to fit in that regard. And it might be their natural place to go, to be kind of unassuming, but they're going to be grinding their gears because they're like, man, I just really want to take control of this, but I can't because I'm not at the top. So when an INFJ can find some kind of independence in their job, whether that's, you're an employee somewhere, but you're given a project to do on your own, or if that means being a freelancer, starting your own business, once you can have some independence, then it feels like it's playing to your strength because suddenly you have complete control over what you're doing. It's weird because you're playing to your strength of organizing and controlling. But in order to do so, you need to develop your kind of weak spot, which is trusting in yourself and not constantly looking around to other people to give you a thumbs up and say, hey, good job. All right, so the third thing is a job where you are organizing something. That is going to really play to your strengths. I know a lot of you are like, man, I'm really artistic and free-flowing and I don't like organizing anything. Sure you don't. Sure you don't. Look, organizing doesn't mean that your room is going to be spotless. It doesn't mean that your closet is going to be color-coded. But what it means is when you get focused in on something, you are going to be organizing the heck out of it. That's just what introverted intuition does. It wants to find a pattern. And you probably have found this already at your job, that if you can do something where all of a sudden you're creating a system, you're systematizing something based on some kind of abstract pattern, it feels amazing because you're in the zone. And especially for an INFJ, the organizing is more on a abstract level. So if you look at some of the stereotypical INFJ careers, like for instance, a counselor or a psychologist, what are they doing? They're listening to someone else. They're taking in all this information about them and then organizing them along abstract lines to figure out how to help the person. Or if you think about another stereotypical job for an INFJ, like say a spiritual guru. How about that? That is just all this abstract stuff, and you're trying to explain the universe by giving these one-liners, basically, to oversimplify what a spiritual guru does. You're like, this is the way the universe works. It's all about this one thing. Try to find that in the job you're in. How can I organize what's going on? How can I create better systems? How can I see, oh, this is everything that's going on in this office or in this classroom? And this is all of a sudden how I can tie everything together into one harmonious pattern. And then the big thing, the biggie that you need in a career as an INFJ is you need to feel like you're helping people. Because if you don't feel like you're helping people, it's really going to feel like totally pointless. Why am I even alive? You know what I mean? Now, a lot of people need that. There are a lot of people who need to feel like they're helping people in their job, or else it's pointless. But especially for an INFJ, because with that extroverted feeling, that's wanting to take care of others. That's wanting to give everyone some kind of happiness, to raise everyone's vibration, if you will. And we're not just satisfied to do it in a physical way, like, oh, here's a cookie, but we want to do it in this abstract way. Like, I want to solve something deeper about you. I want to get into your very soul and somehow make things better. That's the big challenge. This is why it can be hard for an INFJ to find career satisfaction, because how many jobs are there really where you can do that? You know, if your job is to bag groceries, to get to that level of helping people out is it feels impossible. So that's why a lot of you in the careers you're in are going to have to really take it upon yourselves and find that independence within your job to help others in that deeper, more abstract sense that we really desire. You've got to figure it out. So it could be as simple as, if you are bagging groceries, you're going to see all kinds of people come past you, and so you'll be really good at reading them, figuring out kind of what's going on with them, and then trying to get in there just for a moment and somehow make these people's lives better and somehow feel like you're propelling them on to something greater, even though the actual job you're doing is just this. You can take it upon yourself to go an extra step and really change people's lives in the short amount of time you have with them. And sometimes it can be hard because maybe you have a job where you don't interact with other people. Maybe you sit in an office all day with a computer and that's it. That's going to be rough, man, but you can think in a way like, how is this helping people? And maybe if you get stuck in that kind of job, maybe you need to get out of it. That I generally don't want to tell people get out of your job. But this is where an INFJ is really going to wither if there's no human interaction. I know a lot of you are like, I'm an introvert. I like being alone. Yeah, we like being alone, but if you've been working at a job for like a year and it suddenly hits you, I'm not helping anybody by doing this, you are going to really have an existential crisis. Even if you like being alone, it's not going to work out in the long run. So find a way in your job to feel like you are helping other people on a deep level. If you really feel like you can't, you need to look for another way to find that fulfillment, whether it's another job or volunteering on the side, starting your own business, something. So there's my 4 things that every INFJ needs in their career in order to be fulfilled. Let me know in the comments if you think there's anything else that should be added to the list. If you want to see another INFJ video, click or tap the screen right there. If you're in the mood for something funny, click or tap the screen right there. Make sure you subscribe, smash like, and until next time, stay cool and attractive. Okay, you're cool, you stuck around. Let's put someone on the Frisky Pony board. Your Aunt Hilda is watching like wow. Welcome to the esteemed Frisky Pony board.